Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Forgotten Camel, and welcome back to another Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. Today, I've decided to start off with a World War II scenario in the mountains, in a nice forested area. This is sort of the forward army. It would be really nice if I could build defenses and all, but that's probably it's probably better if I did that on something like Men of War. Of course, I'm kind of lazy in terms of putting defenses together in Men of War because it just takes time. I'd rather like download a map with a bunker in it and then put in like troops and tanks and anti-tanks and artillery and stuff. But in this game, this is just going to be about for a canyon. This is like this area doesn't necessarily have much value to it other than the area over here, which is perfect for artillery and like going to bomb stuff. So since during the war the Americans were on the offensive and such, I guess the Germans will be the defenders, so these guys are the guys on offense. So this is 1,000 troops. These guys are technically scouting. It's 1,000 troops for each. And I think we should go ahead and start the battle. Now I like how huge these maps are. It makes it for a lot of unique and cool battles. And also this scene right here it's pretty cool. So I should also go over to where the Germans are at. Wow, just a little look at them clambering down that hill. And they've already just begun firing. Like, I'm not even sure any of the American soldiers know what's going on. It's practically an ambush. And given the fact that the Germans are practically snipers here because they have such a longer range than the US soldiers, but they have open fire. Look at this. You can't even see, you can barely see any troops over there, like, that are shooting at the American troops. It's like, if you think about that, it's kind of scary. It's just bullets whizzing out of nowhere, and you had no idea where the enemy is. You just shoot back at the forest where the bullets are coming from. That has to be really scary. Over here, the Germans have made a proper defensive line right here. They're dying pretty quickly, but I think they've managed to get the Americans off guard by the looks of things. Many of these Americans are kind of backed up, and some of them probably getting, well, other fire. So this part of the map doesn't really look like it was, it looks like it was kind of done fairly quickly, this part of the map, because it's kind of bumpy in many areas. Kind of wish the developer would fix that, because this would be a very good place for battles. But it looks like the Americans have suddenly gone on the offensive. The Germans are being reduced quite a bit. See, where the Germans excel in range, the Americans excel in close combat. So long as the Americans can get close, they can cause a bit more damage to these Germans. I wonder how many Germans there are left. This is pretty cool though. See, I'd love to start this battle over and over. Holy cow, look at all these Germans that died. I didn't expect the Team 1 to win so quickly. I mean, look at that. The Germans previously had range, but I guess these Germans back here were killed due to collateral damage as they were shooting at the Germans on this line over here. That's the only explanation I can get. I didn't expect them to win so easily. I mean, look at the amount of casualties. They managed to survive an ambush from the Germans. And now they have to take a hill. Basically, the Americans have successfully scouted, and they will get the right amount of troops in order to take this hill over here, which will be very much defended. And once they take that, they will be on the offensive. Alright, well, here we are. We have around 12,000, well, close to 12,000 Germans. Actually, it's 11,249 Germans. And the Americans only slightly outnumber them. That wasn't on purpose. It's the mountain, okay? So, these Germans are defending this point here with artillery. That's 250 artillery. And there is a forward attacking force of 500 American troops that they are machine gunners, they are meant to suppress, and some grenadiers to really root out any force that might get in their way, along with around 6,000, supposed to be 6,000 regular World War II soldiers, and some Marines. A little bit of a surprise, the Germans do have a SS Panzer division heading, well, they're just heading up there to reinforce the units. I don't know if they'll be able to help that much, but they are very well trained and extremely accurate. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and find a good place to watch the battle. It's kind of nice though when you things seem really calm and then all of a sudden there's just armies coming out of nowhere. Okay, so the troops finally started shooting at each other. Some guys are ignoring each other, it seems. Looks like they're not seeing each other. And they're being taken down pretty quickly. There's just so many German soldiers trying to take that hill right now. And these US soldiers are not focusing on those Germans just raining down death on these guys. Look at the amount of troops here. Yes, quite a few of the Americans are ignoring the Germans right there, which is rather stupid. I hate it when they ignore Germans that are literally right in front of them. What are they trying to aim at? Oh, they're shooting at the catapults. But don't shoot at the catapults, shoot at the ones shooting at you! Ooh, then those are the grenade throwers by the looks of things. The grenade throwers seem to have gotten in range. And they're using rocks as grenades. I don't know where that boulder came from, though. This is kind of concerning, though. The fact that these American soldiers are ignoring troops that are literally right beside them. Yes, but those are American soldiers. Look at them. They're throwing 3 grenades at a time. It's kind of funny. And it kind of makes them wall. It kind of makes them really off. In a way. And of course, this battle is not really meant to be fair. I mean, you know that American soldiers, if they are the attacking force, they will make it as unfair for the Germans as humanly possible. Unlike the British. No, I'm kidding. I don't think the British would want things to be fair either. I hope. So now it looks like the catapults are actually trading fire between each other. Not the catapults, but the artillery and the grenade throwers are trading fire. It's really amazing though. Ooh, and the SS has already come in to reinforce the troops here. I do hope that none of the Germans fell to their deaths. Okay, some of them are falling to their deaths, unfortunately, but hopefully that won't affect the battle too much. What on earth are these catapults doing? Okay, admittedly, this is kind of smart. They're attacking from a good vantage point. I didn't think they'd do that. So, I assume that these are the regular World War II soldiers. It looks like that. And the catapults are just... You see that? That's so cool. That's how artillery should be, just shooting at the enemy as they try to engage. Oh, I always wanted to see that. I don't know what these other guys are shooting at, though. Oh, they're just shooting at the enemy above. Oh, that's pretty cool. Just shoot. I love these forest battles because they just it gives this like confusing feel for the armies, and they're just shooting at whatever it is that's shooting at them. You know, I kind of wonder if these are the Germans that stayed alive before. I'm actually surprised that some of the grenade throwers are still alive. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see them. I did nerf them a little bit by lowering their range as much as possible because grenade throwers should not be able to throw that far. And just look at the army over here. Yeah, it looks like a lot. Ooh. Yeah, it looks like some of the grenade throwers are throwing it in. Oh, that's gotta hurt. They actually took out a catapult over here. That's pretty impressive. This really makes me want to play Men of War. I really ought to do that, but it just takes so long, and I just don't like recording the stuff. I don't know, I just don't like recording doing battles there. But by the looks of things, the Germans have pushed the American soldiers back, which it's not good. Quite a few of the American soldiers have died now. And now it's up to the regular World War II soldiers and the Marines. And look at the carnage down here. I believe that these American soldiers are in trouble. The battle's pretty even, though. By the looks of things, it's just been even kills. Very even kills. But the artillery is moving forward. Oh, man. This might have not gone too well for the Americans, but this is pretty cool. Looking at these German soldiers firing at the Americans down there. And some of them will commit suicide. We'll just pretend that they got shot and lost their balance and then fell. Well, we'll just pretend that. Oh yeah, but it's cool to see these artillery just raining down on them. That thing just imploded. So, the Germans are at an extreme advantage in that they have the range. They can shoot extremely far to any soldier shooting at them. But by the looks of things, the Marines... Oh wow, look at that artillery just firing at those guys. Yeah, the Marines have a fairly good range, but the artillery has such a good range as well. They're just tearing them up, and look at the amount of dead troops over here. They're really just being taken out by the Germans right now. Oh man, and these Germans went on the offensive all of a sudden. So the battle is no longer even in terms of kills. The Germans have managed to kill more American soldiers than should have been. I guess I didn't give the Americans enough men. I kind of thought that the grenade throwers, I really thought that they would deal a lot of damage, but I only gave them 500, and since the mountain cuts off a few of the troops, they probably had like around 450 or so, which can really change the tide of battle. And these guys still have a lot of artillery on them. Just look at that. They have probably 100 or so. The good news is, not all of their artillery is engaging them. The bad news is, they still have plenty of artillery to engage the US. So, yeah, the US is really getting pushed back. Oh, and this is just such a good position right here. I really need to make a screenshot. Oh man, this is kind of cool. What's annoying is that the Germans are just completely throwing themselves to the ground. This is kind of cool though, just seeing these troops gathering around a cliff and just raining down death on them. I sent forward troops to try to keep them from doing that, but they were idiots and decided to ignore most of the enemy that was shooting at them. I don't know why. And by the looks of things, I think those Americans are shooting at the people up on that cliff. And plenty of Americans have died over here. Those artillery guns are just incredibly accurate and deadly. Look at the amount of firepower being thrown over here. That's a lot of dead troops. Maybe I should have given them some artillery as well. Or tanks. I really wish there were tanks in this game. That would make things so much fun. Imagine just nothing but a tank battle. Just German tanks and US tanks going on against each other. Somehow that just makes me want to play Men of War again. And, well, we know that in Men of War, you can't, it's much more limited than battles like this. You put in like 1,000 soldiers each, and there will be lag. And there will be a lot of lag. Holy cow, those artillery are just accurate. Incredibly accurate. I really feel sorry for these troops. Maybe I should have sent in the airborne division. These guys really need some air support. Yeah, most of the kills are thanks to the artillery, though. Oh, wow. This is just pretty one-sided. At first, things were going fairly well until they ran out of grenade throwers and any other troops. There's really not much these guys can do right now. They're just firing at whoever they can. Not to mention the fact that they're going against the SS Panzer Division. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. I should probably put this at the start and just cue sad music. Just troops dying everywhere. I need to find some sad music. Maybe go to YouTube. Type in sad. Most of the sad music doesn't really sound sad though. I mean, the things they say before they die is just like comical and at the same time really sad. Just look at the amount of deaths right here. You just look at that. And these troops are just hugging this area over here. They're really trying to take cover. Some are even trying to push, but it doesn't seem like it's helping them that much. Just imagine like you're next to one guy, a friend, and then you just turn around and look and he's completely gone. I mean, you hear these stories all the time about World War II. Like, one minute he's there, the next minute he's not. Yes, well, this is a sad day for the US troops. I really ought to do screenshots of this right here. Amazingly, the artillery is like moving up as if they're tanks. And technically they're kind of like tanks. They got like 2,000 health, but real tanks can survive bullets. Look at this. There's still German soldiers just running down that hill. Yeah, look where all the bullets are going. That's a lot of artillery that's been taken down too. Yes, these are good. These are good for screenshots. Oh, that's just so good to look at. I mean, come on, you would want to take pictures too, wouldn't you? It's just, these battles are just so amazing. And every part of this map makes for a completely unique battle. There's even a lake. We could do a lake battle here. Like, where troopers are just shooting across from a lake. We could try doing river battles too, although I don't really trust them that much. Of course, they're less likely to throw themselves to their deaths. Yeah, it looks like the battle is actually slowing down now. I don't know if it's because the Germans are having trouble coming through, or... I don't know. I just don't know. And they're just... There are just a lot of Germans just clambering over this hill. It's like they have no shortage of troops. By the looks of things, they've run out of artillery. The Americans seem to have killed off all of their artillery, and now it's just Germans shooting from across the hill. Actually, there's still some artillery left. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 3 units of artillery, and some are actually charging forward. I guess they can't see the enemy, but they're actually getting shot down. Yeah, it looks like most of the artillery decided to try to relocate, but they get too close and end up getting shot down. I think they're trying to be able to take out even larger sports of troops, which, wow, there are actually a lot over here. They seem to be having trouble moving around. Yes, they're really slow for some reason. So they have 175 health. And they're actually really slow. I don't understand it. Why are they so slow? That's probably I probably programmed them that way by accident. But they should be pretty accurate, though. At the very least, the US troops still have less than 5,000. So that's slightly a good thing, and the Germans have completely run out of artillery. So now it's just gunfighting right now. And it's not going very well. A lot of US troops are still getting taken down. This is kind of unfortunate. And it's pretty cool to see some of these German troops, like, just poking their heads up out here. This is a cool spot. Look at him. He's just sniping troops, and they can't even reach him. Yes, this guy is going to get a medal one day. Aren't you? Or maybe you'll die to US fire. But these guys are in a very good spot despite being very stuck. They're on piles of German bodies right now. Yeah, all they had to do is stay right here and snipe people. That is an incredibly good spot they're at. It's not really that easy to hit those guys over there. Still a lot of US troops engaging, but I think, I don't know. The US might be able to turn around, but there's just too many Germans. And I think those are the SS Panzer Division now. Yeah, the SS Panzer Division is engaging them now. And they are shooing fast. US troops... Man, they're still pushing. You know, if I was, like, the general commanding that army, I would have them pull back. I would not want to lose so many troops. If I lost this many troops, I would not want to go there again until I completely bombed the hell out of the place. Not just bomb the hell out of it, I'd just shoot artillery and bomb it for days. Then I'd shoot troops in, and if even one American dies, I pull them back and then bomb it again. Yeah, but look at the amount of Germans that have just created a firing line here now. US troops have barely any cover at all, so they're in the most trouble right now. And it's weird though that most of them haven't really gotten into the face of the bow. I find it weird that they haven't really made it. I mean, they're really slow too. This might explain why they were being pushed back so far. You do not want to get pushed back at all. And there's still troops just running over this hill. That a battle that lasted minutes ago. Previously, this was like one of the most hectic battles going on, and then it just broke, and the Germans just pushed. And there are still some troops shooting from over here. Man, they have some pretty crazy range. And still plenty of Germans falling to their deaths too. I do find that very annoying. And by the looks of things, wow. Germans still pushing this area. I wish the US would focus all firepower against the guys over here. They're not really focusing all their firepower at Germans that just keep poking their heads over here, which is really causing a lot of strife to these guys. It looks like quite a few Germans have died on this side too. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call it. These Americans, they just can't win. But I'm going to let it keep going because it's just Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. But if it were me and I were playing some other game, like if this were some type of like Total War style of World War II, I would have the men pull back. I would not want to risk losing this many troops in a world conquest. It's pretty amazing though. The Americans have been able to stop the Germans at this point over here. But they are being fired upon from literally probably 500 feet away. I was going to say 500 meters, but there's a meter system in this game that's like 200 meters. So just look at this amount of dead troops over here. That is a wall of dead troops right there. Where they previously had some cover, they don't have it anymore, and they're just getting slaughtered by bullets. So many bullets. Looking at the background and some troops reinforcing that line is pretty amazing to see, though. There's just this small gap where you can see troops running down that hill. I love that. It also makes it really scary. Imagine being on the offense, but all of a sudden you're being pushed back so hard, and you just keep seeing this army of troops through this one hole, this one gap in the trees, and you don't know whether to shoot or to run. Personally, I would shoot at that gap and just loose all the bullets I possibly can. And they still have some SS troops shooting at them. I mean, those guys can shoot fast. And they're really accurate, too. Look. I find it really weird that World War II soldiers are talking about terrorists. I mean, that wasn't really a thing back then. I mean, yes, there was terrorism back then, but they wouldn't be saying, there's us and the terrorists. No. There's us. It's us or them. Or technically that was a thing. And yeah. In the US Army, they teach you that you either kill them or they kill you. That's basically how they teach you how to shoot at people. And probably there's us in the terrorists too, but that's the kind of thing that you hear, I don't know, online rather than with US soldiers. It's more like protect the homeland or something like that. Just look at all the piles of bodies just climbing up this hill. I'm surprised there aren't any US soldiers left. Alright, the more SS soldiers keep showing up. Oh, I so want to do some Men of War battles. I want to do a battle like this, like see US soldiers taking a mountain. That would be cool. Where is there a battle where I can have them take over a mountain? I mean, there is a Japanese mountain, but really a mountain with layers and layers of troops. You ever seen one of those John Wayne movies where they have Americans and Canadians working together to make their own division? And I can't remember the name of it. It was based on a true story, and they successfully took a mountain with their troops. Like a heavily fortified mountain that no one could take over for months. Like, it was just so closed up or something. They were really hunkered down there, and they famously climbed up the back of the mountain while American artillery were firing upon them. They literally climbed up behind enemy lines and just, you know, went up there while there was artillery just shooting right at them. Imagine just US artillery hitting their own friends. But I really love that movie. I'd like to see it again, but I don't really remember the name of it. If anybody remembers that name and has actually watched this far along the game, which is unlikely, most people don't watch this far, but if anybody remembers the name of that movie, please let me know. It was such a good movie, and it has John Wayne in it. But now most of the SS soldiers are just coming in and just firing like crazy. It's amazing that there's still US soldiers around. Oh wow, just look at this line of dead bodies. Holy cow. they're just throwing themselves at each other. And just look at the piles of bodies over here. Oh man, they both suffered quite a few casualties, but yeah, the Germans are going to win this battle. They just... They still can't really push them back anymore, but wow, they got a much bigger line of troops over here just firing at them now. And the US has less than 500 troops. Oh, which is kind of sad for me to see. Albeit this kind of thing didn't really happen that much during the war. But there were a lot of times where just layers and layers of troops just died. But I think the place where this happened the most was just the naval invasion. Invasion of Normandy. It just killed a lot of American troops, but they did eventually take it though. For American troops to just lose this, for someone who is fascinated by World War II history, I find this to be very sad. Well, that's it. The Germans won this battle, surprisingly. I guess that general who sent them in is probably going to get demoted. Probably. And I bet the friends of the soldiers that in the U.S. Army will probably want to kill him too because of his debacle. He sent too few troops and too few artillery support to be able to help them take this hill. And not only has he managed to get all his men killed, but he's going to end up getting a lot more people killed because the Germans have now completely have control of this hill. And they're going to have a lot of artillery and just hunker down in order to keep it. So anyway, I do hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe for more. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and good day. I really need to make a screenshot. Oh man, this is kind of cool.